Gonna hop right into things over here. We got Viscera versus, who was it? Viscera Detail versus Terrible Tyranos. I'm super prepared and I don't know where either are in the list. We got some Nurgle for Viscera. 1930. Bunch of guard. 5 guard. 2 claws. Good ball carrier. Sacker. Block piece of Nurgle. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and find Tyranos. The Tyranos I have passed. Let's see. Oh, they're right here on the first page. Got some lizards. Nurgle versus lizards is always very bash heavy. Pretty insane lizard team. 3 strength ups. A frenzy, blodge, mighty blows, sidestep. I like that. 4 guard versus 5 guard is going to be pretty even on the bashing front. I think the lizards might actually have the advantage, even without claw. I almost wonder if we're going to see one of the spare skinks get sacked just to reduce team value a little bit, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. But let's go over and see if the match has started. Got some Rebel. No, match has not started yet. Wonderful. Feeling really disorganized. It's been a while since I've streamed. Getting back into the flow of things. I forget where everything is on my, on OBS. Forget how to fix all my settings. They should be getting into inducement soon. Then we'll be able to hop in the game. Gonna take my time, figure out the settings. This is why I usually look at teams like 2 minutes before a match instead of like 5. I found that the earlier you look at the teams, the later the game's gonna be delayed. It's also a little easier with a co-caster. Oh yeah, okay. That's a good point. And get drunk. Didn't even think about that. Another way of doing it was I could just throw up my my Rebel screen card whenever. Yeah. Also, Trunk, I hope when you cast my game, you just absolutely dig into me. That would be great. Just absolutely normal 2-die blocks. Be like, why is he doing such a risky play? What an idiot. Spoiler avoidance deck. I love that. I have so many games that I need to watch the VODs of right now. Like, I only got halfway through watching Tree Player Goblins. I need to watch some Ogres. Yeah, exactly. You got it. No, I'm not. I'm not casting my playoff game. I'm casting a different Challenger Cup game. I haven't casted my own games for a couple weeks. Not been feeling very good. I did make it to playoffs though, and I know. Well, Challenger Cup. I know you made it as well in the same division, because you're Phoebe squad, right? Coach Phoebe squad. All right, here we go. But no, my game is on Tuesday, and Trunk will be casting that one. No. It's no big deal. What did you get at your first matchup? If I remember correctly, are you against Pointy Poncy Princess? Because I think you're against Bringer. All right, let's see here. Bring up some skills. If I had to guess, I think my money would be on the lizards. But I'm also not a very smart man. Oh, you are against Bringer? Oh, yeah. Bringer's really good as well, and he's got an amazing team. Yeah, let's see here. So, see, the lizards get the fame. The Nurgle will have a wizard. I'm not sure how I feel about a wizard, honestly. They also brought a star player. That's not bad. Oh, max strength 4. Interesting. I don't usually see Nurgle in dismount, so it's kind of cool. Makes him harder to take down. You have to commit more to him. And by that I mean he just has to roll his own 2 to KO himself. Nice conservative rule of 5 for the Nurgle. I'm expecting to see that ran past by the lizards relatively easily. Or the lizards can take up the typical lizard tactic of punch a couple squares in and then hold the ball for 5 turns and then run into the score. But I think that tactic's a little harder against Nurgle because they can really abuse your cage, wrap around it, start getting a lot of punches on. But we have 3 strength 5s on this lizard team. Hey, Glava, long time no see. Haven't streamed in a while. Let's see where this kick goes. Perfect D, really good for the Nurgle. But the ball position makes perfect D really uneventful. And the strength 5 Lizards being on the line of scrimmage on the sidelines make it so the perfect D still gets punches. What TV? It's like 2,200 Lizards versus 1930 Nurgle. Nurgle got a Wizard and a Chainsaw. And the Lizards won +1 fame. And my personal favorite player in the game is the Frenzy Bloodstep Mighty Blow Lizard. Dragon Down Under. The move up, strength up Blodge source is also pretty cool. There's 4 Blodge sources. Like, this is a nuts development on a Lizard team. This has to be like multiple seasons of development. And Nurgle have 3 spares. Lizards have 2. Lizard spares obviously being very expensive. There is a break tackle on this blotch, you know. But then again, if everything is going according to plan, I don't think you really need more than 1 break tackle. I think Lizards benefit a lot from not having to dodge. Oh yeah, why didn't you just look at the skills? It's right there on the screen. Setting up a 2-die, risking just a rookie. But if you want to come and punch the rookie up, that's good. Follow up. Positional advantage already. Blitz on the claw. Removal here would be huge. Nope. But this now we'll have to GFI in order to blitz. So it probably won't. Probably see this Pestigore blitz. If this Pestigore ever mispositions, though, it's very likely to die. It's got armor 7 against some mighty blows. Try to keep the ball in frame. And as a standard, I'm going to be viewing from the perspective of whose drive it is that half, or whose ball it was that half instead of per drive. Uneventful hits going on. If you're able to get offense against a Claw Mighty Blow team, you kind of want a little bit better to happen than this. And this Pestigore is going to cause you problems. You just hope that it doesn't get a lucky first hit and take down something important. Shore up some defenses in the middle. I think the Blodge, strength 5, is in trouble. But you had to expose something. Fortunately, one of these Nurgle warriors is a absolute rookie. And 2 of the guard on the Nurgle team is on Rotters. At least I thought they were. I see 1. I don't know where the other one is. I must be mistaken. Unless one of them got sold or something? Could have swore there were 2 Rotters with guard and nothing else. Ball is in hand. We get to see a nice bash fest coming up here in a second. Lizards don't have any pressure to score for the moment. Nurgle can't really advance to go force the Lizards to score. We'll probably just end up seeing Nurgle hoping for a removal. Lizard's hoping for a removal, so on and so forth until about turn 6. Then the fun stuff happens. Lizards probably try to score on turn 7 instead of turn 8 because of the wizard. Bringing in the guard. Bringing in the guard. Claw Pestilor coming in. Hits the blodge, gets the POW, and it's safe. Now here I'm basically forced to see a blitz on this Nurgle Warrior with a strength 5 to give an assist and punch away the Claw Mighty Blow. That is what I'm expecting. Or, break tackle away. And I've done good up to this point of avoiding saying coach names. Armstone's pretty easy, but Marasai? I think it's Marasai. I think I've seen Armstone in a game or two before. I'm not sure I've seen Marasai at all. No. I can't remember if I've casted Armstone's match last postseason. Oh, Marasai ended your Upstart Kislev? That's a shame. Your Kislev versus Kislev match was really fun to watch. Lizard's going to struggle to get an opening now. Well, not really an opening. They just want a couple squares into the opposing half. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. That's not the start you want, but, break tackle away. Or you go for 1 die. Probably just break tackle. Which is a 1 in 36 dodge with dodge. Fortunately for Blodge Sorai, there's only 1 tackle on the opposing team. Oh, I like this play. Give him the big hit. Foul appearance. Makes things a little awkward. Foul appearance is the skill you never take into consideration for your blocks, and then you're upset when it occurs. Even worse is if you've ever had a key chain push in order to get in scoring range, and then you foul appearance into foul appearance. It's the worst feeling. Reverse bonehead. Nothing much going to happen, but let's think about what blocks might occur on the next turn. Because this is... You might be able to bring in another guard here, but it's really far away. You had to base Sorai with your guard. So what's actually probably going to happen is... Actually just going to base with the Beast Nurgle. I think that'll probably get punished. Kind of hope for removal. Get the Kaz snowball going. Just a stun. Now, If I were the Lizards, I'd be looking for hits on this rotter most of the game. A little lower armor than most of the other units. Much higher rate of return on keeping it out. Because I don't think rotters have regen. Yeah, they don't have regen. Dirty players, another good target. Going after all the blodge with the tackle. Uneventful armor dice so far. I think we've had almost 10 knockdowns between either team and 1 stun. Keeping a sweeper back. Probably in range of anywhere a skink could go. Because as long as you're, difference is 2 in speed. As long as you're a couple spaces back, you're in range. Add a couple more and you're in GFI range. Well, the skink's GFI range. I do think that the Ro64 is a little split from the rest of the team. But he might be able to distract one Chaos Warrior if no one comes over to assist him. Or 2 or maybe 3 players if you try to get the punch there. So I don't think it's bad at all. Especially when he's got block and stand firm and grab. He's able to decide one person on the enemy team is not going anywhere as long as he doesn't butt head. And with block stand firm, you're really not at much risk of red dice. Because stand firm. That's what I was just about to say. Because with block stand firm, red dice are really not worth taking against a big guy. I think the main benefit of stand firm is you don't get red diced nearly as often. Because instead of being you had to succeed on a 2+2+. If you are okay with both downs, you have to succeed on a 5+5+ to get any sort of distance, which just isn't worth it. And if you ever get a blood from big guy, you have to roll double pals in order to get rid of him, unless you have like Juggernaut. So, like, definitely, if you get a second triple on a Ro64, Blodge Step. Blodge Step on a Beast Nurgle, Blodge Step on any big guy you don't plan on actually punching with very often and using them as a primary control piece. It's amazing. I've only seen it on a couple because big guys are hard to develop a lot of times. But block stand firm. Just as good. In most cases. Doing some calculus here to figure out which blocks to take. Another foul appearance makes things really difficult. Okay, nice grab. Making space, getting the Ro64 back towards the center. And I'm assuming as soon as the Nurgle commits more players to the Ro64, the rest of the team is going to find an opening. In theory. I wonder if this is going to be Frenzy Surf? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're on the sideline with sidestep. Yeah, this is Surf. Nice. I love it. Ooh, and a KO. The first removal done via Surf into a KO. That's really good. Oh yeah, that's a Blodge Step Source with Frenzy. Yeah, that's a Blodge Step Source with Frenzy. Yes, should be. Yeah, which I think is not usually an issue on a Blodge Stepper with AV9. Like, I think it's one of those things, right? Niggle is a very bad perm, but you can make up for it with a couple defensive skills and not letting that person get hit. So Niggle on like Norse, really bad, armor 7, everybody's gonna be exposed at some point or another. On Lizards, I think you can live with a Niggle on most players. Especially once they've gotten some development. And especially on high strength pieces, high armor pieces. Yes it is, but there's only one tackle piece for the Nurgle. If Lizards can remove it, they have 4 Blodge Thorai that are very safe, and they have 2 Blodge Skinks that are now very safe. And if you think about it this way, 3 of your Blodge Thorai are going to be very safe, and that was a very questionable fireball. In my mind. It's like I can kind of see what you're going for there. Because if you knock down the ball carrier, the ball's free. Then you can try to block here, blitz here, but it's got sidestep, or you can blitz here. But I don't think there's very many places the ball could go. Even if that wasn't a 1 in 8 fireball, I don't think there's many places the ball could land that would be super easy to get to. Like, you could bring some Nurgle into position to make it a nuisance. But your main ball retriever is all the way back here. Pestigore is barely in range. You don't want to pick up on the Rotters of the Nurgle Warriors. Your Beast of Nurgle is trapped, and this happens. So even if that fireball got all 3, I think it's still a very hard situation. And if it's a fireball for attrition, I don't think that's very good either, because it's turn 3 and now you don't have the benefit of forcing wizard positioning on the Lizard offense. The Lizards can just full cage now. I think that was a bit of a misplay. But Arnstone is playing Nurgle. I'm not sure how familiar they are with using wizards, because how often does Nurgle get a wizard? Like every 10 games when you go against elves that had the wizard stadium? That would have been a devastating fireball, even if it was a good fireball, though. Like, if there were 3 units that any of them going down, you have a chance at the ball. Because that was the 1 in 8 fireball. I don't like attrition fireballs very much, because it's a mighty blow hit. But you have to knock the unit down first on a 50-50, and even though you hit 3 stunties, usually you're going to get stuns. Or maybe a stun, 2 stuns. I'm not huge on attrition fireballs. Unless one of these is niggled? No. Commitment onto the Saurus is going to leave the right side exposed. That's big. Diablo's Rex is out. Is he also niggled? No. Moving down. I wish there was a slightly more clear way of seeing when a player is niggled on the card instead of just the injury sign and then you have to hover over it to see if there's a niggle if they have other injuries. I wish it like put an asterisk next to the armor value. I think that would be nice. And I'm looking here, and I think the lizards are going to be able to break through. Because Frenzy. Okay. Niggled Blodge. Hit's coming in. It's going to be a follow. Guard Blodger is now based. No, not Blodger. Rotter. Gonna get words confused the entire match. Nurgle doing a great job at not overextending into the lizard half. Chasing the skink with the ball is a great way for the skink with the ball to get away. Run right past your team. I know I managed to allow the lizards to run past me every single time I play against them. I'm really bad against lizards. Good hit development, but it's just not paying off yet for the lizards. Their Mighty Blow pieces aren't breaking armor. I don't think they've gotten a single stun. Their KO is from a serve. It's a rough start. Strength Blodge Step coming in. Really aggressive facing. With most of the Nurgle on the ground, you get that luxury. Lizards going to war, as I like to call it. And with two spare skinks, two diving tackle skinks, losing a rookie skink here is not the end of the world. I didn't realize the diving tackle skinks were the ones that were out. It's pretty interesting. Probably because they're way more important on defense than offense. And that also allows you to be very aggressive with your rookies. I like that a lot, actually. Especially when there was a... Well, no, you go on offense in a second. I'm dumb. I was going to say, especially when there's the chainsaw in the game. But that's a non-issue. I think Arnstone could be doing a little better at protecting his Claw Warrior. But I think he's been doing pretty well. He's been keeping the guards together. Big removal. Down to the 1 strength 5 when he started with 3 this half. Including the Croc score, obviously. Got players tied up on the Beast of Nurgle. Almost in scoring range. Needs 1 square for scoring range with the Movement 9 skink. And then you just need to make a hole and score when you want to. Or when you're forced to. And I'm sitting here looking at, is there a way to surf something fancily with the frenzy piece? I think that at the moment the answer is no. Unless you were to do something like you blitz the rod. Like, are you going to really surf a dirty player rodder? I don't think so. I think you just take the frenzy hit. Foul appearance is an absolute nuisance this game. Yikes. It's probably the worst case scenario of dice rolls there. Okay. Strength skink doing work. It's a 2 die, 1 die. Reroll. And do we just run through? Hey, Crystal Hunter, how you doing? No spoilers, but did Tree's game end already? No, it didn't. Okay. I need to go back and watch the VOD for the rest of that one. That one was getting enjoyable, and I had to cast this match. Wizards are currently taking a beating. They've gotten more blocks, but they've not gotten any removals except for a surf. But that resulted in a nice KO. Their Croxagore and a Strength 5 Blodgesaurus have been taken out by the Claw Mighty Blow. Foul coming in on the Rodder. I like that. Skinks are in position to get hit, though. Beast of Nurgle can end up on the ball. If we take one GFI, punch the swords, another option. My primary motive would be to punch the block guard, end up on 3 skinks, slot in the other guards. That's okay. I would really be wanting to punch the Beast of Nurgle and helping blitz. Like, you could have blitzed the skink, I think, and been able to get another assist somewhere. Stomp the Niggled Saurus is a good option. It's right up there by a dirty player, and it's going to be 3 assists. Bring it to AV6, which is the minimum you want for Stomp. AV5 is really good. I was looking at the numbers, and I'm pretty convinced that a 7+ foul is the lowest I would want for a dirty player foul, and a 6+ is just about optimal, like the most value you can get out of it without committing too many players. Right, apples down. Claw Mighty Blow has been putting in more work than Mighty Blow. Trying to see what I would be doing here. With all the Nurgle congregated over here, I'll try to take control of the left side of the pitch. You can run all the skinks through now that this guy's down. Just go up and to the left. Screen off with 2. And with the wizard already blown, you can try to stall till turn 8 instead of scoring on turn 7. And being 1-0 against Nurgle going into their drive is pretty promising, I would say. You could also score on turn 7 to... No, what am I saying? You don't score on turn 7. You want the 2 KO rolls. You get them anyways because it's your offensive drive. Being a little silly. I don't hate that reroll. Hey, first removal. That's not from a surf. For the lizards. Now, looking at the ranges here, gotta worry about the agility if you run off to the left. But you actually can't be based if you come over here. Well, you can be based if you come here, but you could be in scoring range and score uncontested on the next turn. Bring that Saurus and the Skink to come defend. And this is a free score. MA plus Skinks are insane. You come right here, and at most, the cage can be marked. Well, give me blitzed by the wrestle piece. Like, we might see a... I think we're just going to be going for damage as the Nurgles. And Nurgle are fine even if their KOs don't come back. They have 3 spare players. And the Lizards are fine because they have 2 spare players. But they really want those strength 5s back. Whereas, like, Pest Score is nice. Helps with scoring. It's not the end of the world if the block Pest Score comes back. I think the Warrior's a little more important. Especially when you're going to be down guard without him if the Lizards come back. And looking at this should be a slot in the guard. Take a punch here. Bring in some more assistance. Try to pressure the score is actually more important. But I don't really think you can stop the score. I'm not sure if forcing it to go faster gives you a chance at scoring. Because Nurgle kind of struggle with 2 turns to touchdown. Lizards have enough strength and mobility to completely prevent it as well. And if the Lizards got a blitz when you have 2 turns left, or a turn left for the Lizards, they might be able to turn over and score and secure the game that way. I think the rest of this half is going to be nice and simple. Bash a little bit, try to pressure a little bit. Lizards walk in when they feel overpressured. That's about it. going into next half, I think what KOs come back makes a huge difference. And kickoff events can be insane. A perfect D, a blitz, a pitch invasion, all those things can cause some insanity. I think if the Lizards get a second point, it's GG. I think Nurgle will have to play for overtime just because of the type of team Nurgle is. You have to play for overtime. You have to play for damage. And then you have to win based off of either killing the rest of the Lizards during overtime and not letting them score, or there being so few players they can't stop you from scoring. Nurgle does not have a bribe now. Oh, they do have a bribe. I didn't even notice that. Huh. Not bad. I've gone this entire game not realizing they had a bribe. Yeah, I think the idea is they want to keep the chainsaw as a spare player, so not being forced to use the bribe, so they can keep the chainsaw for potentially 2 drives against the Skinks, especially when there's 6 blodge on the Lizard team, 4 of them being Sorai, one of them being a blodge step strength 3 Skink. I think the solve's pretty good. Lizard's probably just taking punches then running it in, if I had to guess. Well, that foul appearance has been paying dividends this game. Typical cup defense. Roll a 5. And then move your blodge, Skink. Yeah, there you go. One strength 5 still out. Get another KO roll at that. You're hoping more pieces don't get removed. One of the super skinks is out. Three guard on the line. I like that. It's very. I think it's very interesting. Teams that are all about putting strong units on the line because they don't have another choice. Because skinks are too expensive to just have 3 in the line of scrimmage. And Sorai and the Ro64 are forced to be on the line. And you need the block, you need the guards. Stand firm helps make it so you can't develop the blocks easy, but I'm not very good at teams that don't have enough linemen to sacrifice on the line of scrimmage. I feel like in claw matchups, it's just the odds of losing your people on the line is just so high. It's very spooky. Because, these 3 very important pieces had to survive 2 line of scrimmages this game at the very least. They had to survive right here, and they had to survive at the start of the next half. Other teams that you can think of that are similar. I'm not sure there are many teams, actually. Ogres put their ogres on the line, but that's 3 strength 5s, and you give all 3 of them guard, and that's really hard to deal with. Khemri can put Tomb Guardians on the line, but you only do that when you're massively ahead and they can't get punched. So you have that's a choice there. Chorf linemen, Hobgoblins. But you wouldn't put a Hobgoblin on the line because they're too easy to remove. I think. No, actually, you might. But I think you usually put the Chorf blockers because they've got thick skull as well. But yeah, because Chorf blockers are a positional and the Bull Centaur is positional. I'm pretty sure it's the Hobgoblins or linemen. It kind of does feel like that, doesn't it? Quick Snap, that's helpful for the Nurgle. Let's see. Vampire have the Thralls. Norse have the Norse linemen, which are amazing. Chaos have Beastmen. Nurgle have Rotters. Like, are Lizards the only team absolutely forced to put the high strength pieces on the line? You do it with Wood Elves, you put the tree on the line, but that's because the tree saves the rest of your elves. And you also have the 2 linemen with it. I think it might just be Lizards. Still alive. Good. Still alive. And the tackle Claw Mighty Blow should be going after this Sorai. You could have also made an argument that they could have gone after the Strength 5. That requires a bit more players than you want to expose, I think, because then you also have to worry about what if the Skinks come and try to score? Or depending on the kickoff event, you know? Going after the Niggled Frenzy piece again. Makes sense. Gets another POW. Oh no. Oh no. And the app is already gone. Oh. That's sad. That was a really good piece. 2 doubles. And, oh. 5 levels of development. Oh, that one stings. But you use the Apo to have the player, to get the player back. Try and win the playoff game. I thought it was a really good piece. It's Blodge Step on a Sorai with Frenzy allows you to surf very safely because Sorai have really good movement, really good strength. Had 2 doubles. And having a Frenzy piece with Sidestep gives you a lot of pressure on the sidelines. Oh no. A lot of 6s. Dead. Overtime's looking pretty good for Nurgle indeed. Assuming they can score. Well, Lizards have gotten rid of some of their TV problem. Nurgle's always there to help you trim. And the chainsaw ain't even in yet. Yeah, that's right. Hit the claw mighty blow. Good. Kill it. Not quite. And then pick up your players because otherwise they're just going to get stepped on anyways. Downhill spiral has started for the Lizards. They can probably still have a full team. They still have their strength 5 pieces. Lizards power up when they lose their Sora. That's kind of the expected. But I also respect the power up going for the win. Now the problem is, even if you win, you can't afford to replace a Source and a Ro64 next match. You can replace one. And in that case, I think you take a Ro64. Depending on your matchup, induce a Bloxsaurus or Slibly, but you're probably still going to be head in TV in a lot of matchups, so you might not even get that option. Yeah, you're missing 3 levels. Fortunately, that Ro64 only had 1 double, but the Sorai had 2 doubles and 5 levels. But a Bloxsaurus is almost as good as a couple levels higher. It just gets a little better the thing it gets good at level 2. Hey, howdy. Hey, Michael's is raiding. Wonder how long I missed that for. Hope the stream went well. I'm assuming you were casting some playoffs. Can we take another look at the dead lizard? Yeah. We've got this one. The Blodge, Mighty Blow, Sidestep, Frenzy. That was niggled. And you got the Saurus, which had a movement down, which was block, stand, from guard. You know, all normal rolls, but big guys are hard to develop a lot of times, especially when you get into higher TV games. There's not very many opportunities to hit them. But that's like almost 200 TV between the both of them. 150. Still a lot. Yeah, kill the lizard development. That'll teach him. Go back to level 2. Block sources are only allowed. I'll be honest, I struggle against lizards that have low development as well. I'm really bad against lizards. Oof, another removal. Nurgle game plan going into effect. It's going to be a very hard half. Fishing for the PAL. Probably the foul afterwards. Bribe still not broken. Yeah, this has been a rough game for the Lizards so far. They had a lot of blocks in the first half. But none of them even resulted in a stun except for one or two of them. Let's see. Chaos Warrior stays out, helps. Lizards are down to 10 players. Nurgle have full team. You know, Glava, here's the thing. The run-up fouls is a myth. It's not true. The reality is you have to do a little dance back and forth. That's how you get the death. It's the fact that people don't want you to know. That's that's good for the Lizards. That kick's good for the Lizards. And the Nurgle team is over here on the side. Blitz. It's knocked down. Can go base the ball carrier with tackle. Strength 5. It has a 1 in 36 dodge, but... Ugh. Yeah, Rick, the Lizards had 2 rookie skinks. Yeah, with this blitz, the Lizards are very much still in this game. They've got most of their key pieces. This is the point where you have to decide how much do you need to tie up players. Diving tackle on the ball carrier, good. What? That looks like a misclick. That's a dire misclick. The Lizard player misclicked and took an unnecessary 3+ dodge. And got 1 in 9 dodged before moving their other players. Because they wanted to get diving tackle on the agility 4. Felt guilty winning on a blitz. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, that's a big whoopsies. I also think it's one of those things, though, that once the diving tackle was on the Blood Sure Hands, I think if you misclick that, I don't think that you attempt to do anything else. Like, I think you just accept it to misclick and then move your other 4 players. I think the 1 in 9 is that devastating. Like, granted, it's like you're punished on a 10% whoopsies, but movement is a 0% chance to fail. And 1 in 9s happen, you know. It would have to be game losing potential, because if there's a tie, then it's just going to go to overtime. Yeah, because, could be so many more players over here. If I'm not mistaken, the Chancel's actually being kept in case the tackle gets taken off the field, so that there's still something to deal with the blodge. The skink had tried to dodge after being mispositioned 1 square. Tried to take the 1 in 9 dodge and failed. So we have 3 skinks and a strength 5 that were not pressuring the ball to help with the score. Very unfortunate. Foul coming in on the skink. Oh, it's massive. And the bribe's still in play. Still have a scoring threat, but it's got to make several dodges, and the ball has to be on the ground. Oh, if the other skinks were in position. Oh, which one? There's two of them. Oh, yeah, you definitely go for it. If you score, you win. 100% you throw those dice. You have to do the safer actions first, though. And then you need to move your other skinks to go and pressure the ball. It's so important to go bring up the backup. No, he wants to win. Everybody wants to win. When you're in playoffs, you going for the win. It's just hard. And you get halfway through a match, it's been going on for an hour. You still have up to an hour to go. It's just rough. Uh-oh. Well, he did just lose two of his key players. It's a little understandable. Yep, there you go. And you can want to win the game and still want to reroll your team after playoffs. But like it's okay to be upset when a couple seasons of development gets trashed in the middle of playoffs. It gets hard. You get tired. You get a little nerve wracking. You start thinking dice are against. It's understandable. People are human. You just got to hold it together and not allow the Nurgle to tie. Yeah, that was big dice. Big dice. That was what, a 3+ with reroll, 3+ with reroll, 3+ with a team reroll, then a 4+ with a reroll, 3+ with the team reroll, 3+. Yeah, that was a lot of fortunate numbers that occurred in sequence. But I think that's the game-winning play. Oh, Crystal Hunter, you against Marasai in next round, if he wins? Oh, okay. I get you. Yeah, not having to go against that level of development on the Ro64 would be nice. And now the Lizards just need to stall. The Nurgle need to go for a fast score and then turn over the ball, which is very hard to do against Lizards. 2 sidesteps to just hold onto the ball and run around the field. I think that this game might already be decided. Nurgle can get some removals here and it be closer. But I think the expected outcome in this position, when Lizards get 0-2, Lizards win. Unless you're what else? In my opinion, in my experience. And I don't even think Armstone's been playing bad. I think just the blitz is just so detrimental. Absolutely, if Claw pops off. And they've got the chainsaw in now. They're going to go for damage. Yeah, MA8 Stunty is hard to defend against, and I think it's even harder to turn over. Like, ugh. Like, I struggle against lizards, though. Like, ugh. They're so hard. I struggle against them with every team. Okay, developing another block. Claw needs to start popping off for the Nurgle. I'm actually going to switch views. I normally do that at the start of the drives, but a blitz happened and I forgot to. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And that's a case of that misplay was slightly worse. Well, it was a lot worse just because if you don't pick up the ball, there's the chance of it being picked up and scored with. But also just a 2+ pickup instead of a 1 in 36 pickup. Massive difference. And it wasn't massively likely that the Lizards were going to score there, but the opportunity was still there, depending on where the ball scattered. And just because, sometimes you take the risk that you have to take, and you get a touchdown off of it. Nurgle had to find a way past 5 sources, 2 of which are strength 5. They have 2 Claw Mighty Blow to deal with them, a chainsaw. It's going to be rough. Did the other warrior come back? No, the other warrior's still out. That's really hard as well. The dreaded lizard screen coming into play. Foul appearance appears again. I need to check the numbers on the foul appearance rolls because there have been a lot this game that have procced. Now let's do some numbers, right? You need to go 14 squares. It takes at least 2 turns to score for the Nurgle. The Nurgle have a bad hair day? Yeah, something like that. Takes at least 2 turns to score. So if you somehow manage to go max distance this turn, max distance the next turn, the Nurgle will have 4 turns to turn over and score again to go into overtime, while being down to 2 rerolls versus 4. Realistically, let's say the fastest they're going to be able to get through it in this situation is 3 turns. Then they have 3 turns to turn over and score against lizards. Oh yeah, I like what the lizards are doing. They're doing elf screen or curtains, whatever you want to call it, which is really good at delaying the enemy, but it's not very good at protecting your pieces. When they're strength 3, when you have 2 of those pieces being strength 5, one of them being a block stand firm, like I think lizard screens are insanely efficient at stalling for time. I think in this scenario, like, it's very hard to bust through. Because, like, normally you get through a curtain defense by basing the players and then punching them and forcing dodges. You base all the sources, and they'll just punch you back. Maybe a little bit. It's really one of those hard things to say for a turn or two, because they've just gotten the ball forward. If the ball doesn't go forwards at all in the next turn, I think they have, yeah. What do you do? You have to try to break through, right? That's a given. So I think what I would do, you have to blitz one of the sources and base some skinks with guard and tackle. But you only have one tackle. But if you can base the skinks can't stay there. They're going to have to dodge away. But as soon as you blitz through one of the sources, if it's a removal, so for example, I would probably be looking at this source right here. Even if you just get a push, you can bring players in to base the skink and the source, and then the rest of the defense has to accommodate the fact that things are able to bust through on the next turn if you don't do something. Even more so, this is actually just open. And this can be punched this turn. I think that the Lizards have made a way through a little bit. Like, this is going to stand up, but this is going to be punchable. Yeah, exactly. But I think that it's... I think the Lizards are more conserving strength for the next rounds. Because they don't have to stop a touchdown. They just have to prevent two. They don't care if the Nurgle get through after difficulty. They just care if they get through quickly and are able to turn over. Which Nurgle are not very good at turning over. They're just good at preventing you from having fun. Like running past, throwing the ball, dodging through, that sort of stuff. And I think the thing is that Wizard in the first half could have been used better. Wizard in the first half could have rolled better. But you can't control that. Like, it was an unfortunate 1-8. Break tackle did save the screen. And now you have to base. You have to base. You have to get into contact. This Beast of Nurgle. Oh, this Beast of Nurgle right here. Move your chainsaw. Beast of Nurgle walks right here. Base that skink. There we go. I like that. Speak my language. And you have to get some movement on your ball carrier. Stand firm is a good skill. And that skink actually can still break free. Strength 3 versus Strength 5 tentacles, I think that's like a 40% chance to break free. I'm not very good with the numbers on that, though. Don't quote me. Like 43%? Something like that? That's the only problem with having, like, dice-based probabilities is 2d6 numbers are hard to make real. Uh-oh. That's a big hit. Regen failure. But no, you know what? The actual way to do it is just turn it into 1 in 36s. And then, like, multiply 3 for rough numbers. Because 1 in 36 is, like, about a 3% play. 2 plus is, like, 4 in 36 because it goes by squares. So that's about a 12% play on a well, the other way around, 11 plus. Yeah, I think that removal guarantees it. Did he blitz? I don't think he has yet. I think he's still got blitz available. I think that's what we're going to see right here. And even if this game went into overtime, it's very Lizard favored. Now, because of that casualty, they have 4 rerolls versus 1. Yeah. The Lizards are going to have to lick their wounds after this game and find a way to win their next game. If they're overdog, their next game is going to be ridiculously hard. If they're underdog, inducements can help stabilize them. Mercenaries with a level are very good and very cheap, especially if you're giving them block, guard, whatever general skill you need just to make things usable or reliable as a piece to stand there. Yeah, because you want to break tackle. You want to break out of the tentacles anyways. He actually re-rolled it trying to get the skink out, which I don't think is a bad idea. You want to get him away from the Mighty Blow. You don't have an Appa to save him anymore. You have a good one, Glava. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, this game should be over. Nurgle need 2 turns to score still, giving them 2 turns to turn over Lizards with 1 reroll. And I think not blocking the Beast is the right call. I think the Beast can get 2 die on you. I don't think it can get 3 when you're strength 3 in this position. And Blodge it's okay against the Beast. Yep, that's kind of the only play. Because you have to go. You can't, if you're trying to win this game and stay in Challengers Cup, you just have to go. But let's see. In about an hour and a half, I'm casting a playoff match as well. Going to be looking at New Romantic 9 versus Dwarf Hatred Test at 21 UTC, 4 p.m. Eastern. What do we want to see in the rest of the game, though? Like, what piece do you just never want to see in your own game and you want to die? I think the Lizards have lost enough that they lose too much more, then you won't ever have to face the team. Which that's kind of a bummer. I don't want people to be forced to reroll off of one game. But looking at the Nurgle, claw pieces can die. That'd be fine, but they'll just get more. Like I don't think there's any like super piece on the Nurgle that you want to die. I think you just want the guard rotter and the dirty player rotter to die because rotters are hard to develop. So if they die, you don't have to go against them. Oh, I agree. He doesn't need to reroll. I think that he's still got a lot of source development, and if he is contemplating rerolling, I think he just needs a moment to look at his team and say, hey, I still have 2 Strength 5 Sauruses with Blodge, and I've got a Blodge Break Tackle Saurus, and I've still got a really good team. Yeah, I agree. But he lost 100 SPP on a Saurus, and it's understandable to get a little upset during the match. I know I've gotten 1 stat up on my main league Chaos team. The very first time I got a Strength 4 Beastman, and I was like, yes, I have 5 Chaos Warriors now. I got him block, gave him guard, and then he died. Like, I had him for like 5 games. It was funny. It was sad, but it was really funny. Afterwards, when I got over the pain. Then again, I'm also like, I'm not sure about everybody else, but like I'm the worst. My family is terrible to have funerals with. Primarily because somebody died, but also because none of us can be somber or grieve the same way most people do. Like, we're always cracking jokes, all that stuff. Like, when my dad's mom died, he was like the life of the party. He was talking about, wow, why do we go so slow in the funeral processions? Why don't we just, I want to take over the hearse and show them where to go. Like, we have the flags. We should be able to speed down the highway. So we're really bad with the grieving process for most people. Yeah, the Nurgle have given up. They've not moved the ball more than 1 space in the last 3 turns. That or they just don't recognize that they were 100% still in the game with an asterisk if they were willing to potato. They might just not be willing to risk their team for playoffs or Challengers Cup. And that's fine, they're Nurgle, they're really slow to develop. I'm already casting one of them, Michaels. I'm already casting one of them. Give me that shit. I'm already on this. Come raid my stream, think you can tell me what to do? I'm already doing it. I am going to cast a match, but not because you tell me to. Oh, okay. My apologies, Michael. Yeah, but people tend to risk less in Civi Cup a little bit, but I don't know. It's still a playoff, you know. I don't know. I'm willing to have half my team die in order to win games. So I guess I'm a little not the same as some people. Because to me, it's like you're developing a team, yes. And if there's, if you're in a round robin, like main season, you may need to preserve teams so you can win future games. But if you're in the playoff, like, it's one and done. Risk some players, That's my philosophy. Which not everybody needs to adhere to, because I just kind of talk out my ass. Yeah, sell your body sacrifice your body for the win. You know what I need? I need to get the sound alerts on my stream, and I need to get a recording of Mongoose saying, it's been a while since I had a cookie. That's what I need to do. Yeah, but if you don't get to the finals, it doesn't matter anyways. Like, win as safely as you can, but the most important part of win safely is win. It's like my last main season match, I had 150K in the bank. And I scummed like 130 of it because I just needed to win that game. Yeah, that's a good point, Chris Hunter. Definitely depends on your team. Winning playoffs with Ogres probably impossible. I would have to agree. Winning Civic Cup? Maybe. Okay, yeah, I can agree. I also am extremely bigoted against Ogres. I played like 40 league matches of Ogres in WCW and in, I can't remember the other league, but I played like 40 league matches of Ogres, and it was pain. Half you know what, Michaels? It doesn't say anywhere to not be a hypocrite. It doesn't say to not be a hypocrite. It just says not to be a bigot. Rules for thee, not for me. But no, Ogres make me sad. Props to you, Chunter, for doing well with them. They make me sad to play. I love watching them. I can't stand playing them anymore. I've played 30 games too many. I played against. Oh damn, that's a lot of games. But I played against Core Knight. I played against Core Knight when he had 1,200 TV up on me as Ogres, and he ate and owed me. It was awful. I was so sad. Oh. But I think that many games of Ogres is nice and fine and safe as long as you have a mental support group. Talk about your problems and solve whatever's caused you to play 200 games of Ogres. When something works, it's so fun. When everything goes wrong, it's so tragic. Like, when you get a block Ogre and you use him for blitzing and he boneheads the blitz 3 turns in a row, so you no longer have much pressure in the drive. Vamps are really fun. I love Vamps. And flings are just fun. You throw a fling. Like, I think part of it is when your tree Negatrait procs, you can still do something with the tree. Oh. Vamps are so fun until they implode. Which you go against a claw team and it kills all your Vamps and they don't regen. But, you don't have to worry about that for a while. Enjoy them while they're strong. Enjoy them while they're fun. Yeah, they break your heart all the time. And people losing their shit over ogres is kind of silly. The best part about ogres is you can always just blame the loss on the team. Yeah, this beast hasn't done much, and I've been not commenting much on the game because at this point it's decided for 4 turns. I think Vamps are a really good team that's so close to being like actually viable in most people's hands. Oh, high TV Vamps will survive for sure. I just think their low TV is hard to stabilize, very dice dependent to get started. Mid TV is where they start taking off. They get 1 or 2 Vamps going. And then high TV, they need to transition into. I think they need to, around mid to high TV, you need to start transitioning into being able to field more vampires than 4. It is a lot of thinking for a lost game. It's theory crafting a different game that's not going on. I know. I was watching Rick Reckless play vampires on CCL, and he had like 6 vampires as fast as he could. It's a lot of fun to watch. He went like 25 something and something, like 25, 11 and 10 or something like that. Not terrible for CCL vamps. Really good for CCL vamps, yeah. And we might get some development. Or regular SPP. These are really long turns. So they're just like. They're probably typing into each other. That's probably all it is. Ugh. I wonder what teams are playing in the other match I'm casting. I'm assuming one of them's Dwarf, because their name is Dwarf Hatred Dust. One die for the push. And safe. In theory, the lizards can score again. Regen worked. Regen, good skill. This player's on his way to becoming a legend. It's kind of cool. Just 50 more games. 50 more SPP. 1 vanity every game. Easy. I'm I'm really indifferent on 2020 rule set because I haven't tried it, haven't looked into it much, and I've also not been playing uh, the 2016 rule set nearly as long as other people have been. Like, this is my first season in the main league. But I do agree that the games at high TV kind of turn into claw in the things that are viable against it, or viable enough and don't die to it often. Like, I think, like, this match I think is fine, it's Claw Mighty Blow. But especially, like, if you get the trifecta with piling on, it's just unbearable. Get, like, 80% removals going on. 70%, whatever the number is. And it makes it to the point where the agility teams just don't score until they only do 8-turn stalls, so they don't have to get punched as much. Yep. Whereas I think like piling on is needed on to keep up against Claw Mighty Blow on other teams. Look at Norse. Norse need Palm. Because they're all low armor and they gotta snowball like almost every game. Okay. Ball in hand. Yeah, I agree. And I think it would be fine because I'm pretty sure in the new in 2020 isn't it harder to kill players? I'm not sure on that one. That one I'm fuzzy on because I think the main problem is just how easy it is for casuals to cause perms and death. Because being removed for the game is like I think fine to a certain extent. Oh, okay. Removals on board stay the same. Good to know. And I know redraft. I think redraft is interesting, right? Depending on how it's implemented per league. Because if you're redrafting every, like, if you redrafted every 13 games, if you don't go to postseason like we do in, like, Rebel main season, if you redrafted every season, I think that could be really, really too quick for some teams because they wouldn't be able to develop easily. But if you redrafted like every 30 games, it's a different thing, Yeah, okay. I'm glad we're in agreement on that. And it's really about finding a balance where most games end up being enjoyable to play and or watch, and the most amount of teams are viable would be my preferred amount. Tripwire coming in. Casual 5+ pass. Tripwire. No. 2-1. Now the Lizards get their retaliation line of scrimmage. Oh, no, I agree. I don't think that 2000 TV kill stacks are fun. I am in agreement. I think that's forced team diversity is part of what's fun about clans as well. And kind of the nice thing about if you play a lot of CCL like you do is you don't always run into the kill stacks. You're able to control your TV a little bit. Then we finish setting up so that we can punch the routers and end the game. Yeah, the limiter is the main part because you can stay out of the extremes of being like 1300 against 2K chaos. And it is also like the inducements are reasonable in that range. Like you can get a wizard, you can get a star, you can get some mercenaries. It's also one of those. The better a team is at killing, the less damage they take. So kill skills are a survival skill. Because if you are playing 8 against 11, it's hard to get damage on the 11. Yeah, exactly. Going for SPP with a 1-turn touchdown, looks like. I respect it. See if the math worked out. That helps. I can run through 0 tackle or 0 tackle. It's all the way on the edge. It's like a 13 to 12. Needs one more push. At a minimum. I think it's more high TV without claw palm spam is fun. Um, yeah, 1,000 versus 1,500 is worse than 1,500 versus 2K. I agree. Uh, the main thing about that though is if your team dies at 1K, it's a little less detrimental because you just start a new one. But that's a time commitment versus a whatever. But it's just one of those. The amount of people in the player base versus queue times and that sort of thing. And that's just the number thing that you're never gonna be able to perfectly balance, unfortunately. But it can be rough, especially like midway or later in the seasons when nobody has really fresh teams going. All right, touchdown. Reroll. Good job. And that will be the ball game. Yeah, it could. Could definitely have killed the player without Napo. And that's a level on the Supersaurus. Level on the Garbrodder. Should be block, unless it's strength. 11 armor breaks to 11 armor breaks, but 2 deaths over here. 35 blocks to 51. With almost the same amount of removals. Some sticking a little more permanently. SPPs. Let's see. This is the Nurgles. Armor's solid. Injury's bad. Hey, good win, good win. Shame on the deaths, but good win. So, quick question. What happened on the blitz? Did you misclick with the skink, or did you decide you wanted them on the agility pestigore, and then the dodge failed? Was it a misclick, or did you just decide afterwards? Let's see. Well, appearances. So on the first half, when you got the blitz, your skink that you had marked the sure hands player, you dodged him off to go mark the agility 4. Did you misclick where you put the diving tackle, or did you decide after you already based him that you wanted him to go mark the agility 4? Because to me it looked like a misclick. I wasn't able to tell. You pads. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because you ended up with like 4 players not being part of the pressuring. Yeah, what Rick said, your defense was great. And once you went for the risky dodges and pickups with the skink and got the touchdown, it was like 85% of the bag. It was really well done. Shame on the deaths, though. Lots of pushes. Lots of pounds. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, let's see. I will be casting a game in 1 hour and 8 minutes. Congratulations, Mara. Good luck in the next round. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I'm going to hop off for a bit. Let's see if there's anybody I can raid, see if there's anybody doing Some rebel. Viking is casting? Go over to him then. Let's see, where is he? Yeah, there he is. Viking Cap. No, I don't think you take a second move up. I don't know what you take, honestly, though. But I'm going to go get some cough drops, drink some fluids, then cast game in about an hour. Meet you all over on Vikings Cast, and y'all have a good one.